I was mopping up the lobby floor of the cafe when my supervisor shouted from the back room that the till count was finally done. I'd missed quite a few spots but could not have cared less. It was close to midnight already and we were a half hour past our scheduled shift. I smelt of burnt coffee and emptied trash cans. It was time to go. As we headed to the parking lot, we shared our usual gripes about the shift. Inane customers, dumb protocols, even dumber procedures, knowing full well we'd be doing it all over again the next day. I sat alone in my car in the empty underground parking lot and tried to reflect a bit. Some nights I was simply too exhausted to think. My beat-up sedan winded its way down Laurel Canyon past so much of the city's notorious history. The Wonderland murders, the ghosts of countless burnt-out stars, and even an epic 15-mile walk I would take some years later in a drunken stupor. How's that for foreshadowing, friends? I managed to find a parking spot near my dilapidated apartment building on Santa Monica in Fairfax. It was a Friday night in the middle of summer, so the hookers were out in droves. An old man in a fancy Mercedes-Benz slowed down as I walked to my apartment. He looked at me with a sad, lascivious smile and pointed toward the back seat. For a second, I thought about rolling him. That is, telling him I'd crank his shaft for a few $100, then bolting with the cash, leaving him with nothing but his ancient blue balls. I decided to give him the finger instead. I shared a cramped studio apartment with two buddies. My roommates were both sound asleep when I got home. The apartment had no AC. In fact, mysterious heat billowed out from a hole in the ceiling 24/7. We would often sweat ourselves to sleep. I slept in the kitchen on a piece of foam. I dragged myself to the kitchen and flicked on the meager light. Roaches scattered all over the dishes and snuck back into the various cracks that articulated the walls. I stood at the threshold for a moment, unsure of what to do. I was tired, but ennui and some indefinable longing nested inside of me. I grabbed my keys and headed back out before despair could take hold. Instead, I made a beeline for the liquor store around the corner and snagged 2 tall boys and a pack of cigarettes. That would suffice, or so I hoped. I then climbed the fire escape of my building and planted myself on the roof overlooking the entire city. Amid the buzz and haze from the booze and cigarettes, I could just make out downtown Los Angeles. A sense of foreboding welled up inside of me, knowing I would have to wake up and mop those floors all over again in some strange Sisyphean shit-job shuffle. I could not know at that very moment that, for a very long time, this would have to be my life.